Arne Slot changed Frimpong and Wirtz's positions. Let's break down the first friendly of the preseason. This preseason, Florian Wirtz played as a false nine, frequently dropping between the lines, something he did quite well, showing strong link-up play. We can see how often he dropped deep to link up between the lines. Even when he found himself in finishing zones, he drifted towards the ball to receive it and then tried to progress or sharpen the play using his technique. At the same time, only one Liverpool player remained in the finishing zones. But beyond just dropping deep, Wirtz also attacked the depth well, and with good timing, as seen in this episode. Wirtz's pressing was also impressive. He covered large areas in short bursts of time, showing strong pressing intensity, and even reminding a bit of Dembele in that regard. Still, it's clear that Wirtz is naturally more inclined to operate between the lines. In a moment where he could have attacked the depth, he once again chose to drop between the lines, receive the ball, and play a pass to a teammate. And already in the 5th minute, we see Florian Wirtz tracking back and defending deep in his own box, personally marking an opponent. That's a high level of commitment when a player runs back from midfield to defend. Throughout most of the match, Wirtz positioned himself close to the edge of the penalty area but rarely entered it. He was willing to drift toward the ball, even to the wing, trying to deliver threatening passes from there, but lacked some verticality, directness, and aggression in the final third. Although his movement in this match was more horizontal, it was consistent. We can see how he initially offers himself in one area, then moves into another, receives the ball, turns, plays it forward, and adjusts to the pace of the attack. Then he delivers a through ball into the half space for Salah. And here, Salah opted to return the pass to Wirtz, which got intercepted, although he could have gone for the shot and scored himself. Even now, it's noticeable that Liverpool lack a proper central striker, with many players clustered on one flank and no one occupying the central space. The far side winger is staying wide and not ready to attack the box, and this has become a trend. Wirtz always dropped, played between the lines, then advanced to the opposition box, shifting into the half space to combine. I don't mind that. It's a good decision and good movement, but it's more suitable for an attacking midfielder. I don't think Wirtz was bought to be a false nine, so this appearance today was certainly interesting. We also saw Wirtz from his false nine position, dropping all the way into his own midfield line to help with the build-up. Eventually, Liverpool played a diagonal ball to a completely open far side. And again, if we talk about this attack, in the finishing zones, Wirtz once more runs toward the ball. As a result, we end up with a situation where there are plenty of players around the edge of the box, but no one close to the 6-yard box to finish off a cross or low pass. Though in this particular moment, it didn't matter. So Szoboszlai scored a brilliant long-range goal into the far corner from 18 meters. But if we're talking about counter-attacking football, where Liverpool rushed forward at high speed toward the opponent's goal, then Wirtz is clearly attacking depth here. They open between the lines, but again, after that deep run, Wirtz drifts into the half space. And very often in this match, like in this episode, it was Wirtz operating in the half space, while Szoboszlai, the central midfielder, made the late run into the box. This kind of tactical setup can work in a match. Still, to me, Wirtz is more of a central attacking midfielder. Look at his off-ball movement. Once again, he finds space between the lines. A second time, he does it again, while freeing up space for his teammate. With a good first touch and forward carry, he makes great use of the open space ahead, enters it, and plays a line-breaking pass to advance the attack. This is a player who can make a difference on the pitch. To me, he's absolutely an attacking midfielder, not a false nine. Even just based on his play, would a striker really drop that deep to support and build up from defense to attack? I don't think so. The way Wirtz was used in this match was aimed at pulling at least one of AC Milan's center backs out of position. But the Milan center backs showed no reaction at all when Wirtz dropped deep into midfield. As a result, Liverpool had numerical superiority in central areas and could combine there comfortably. However, this didn't help stretch Milan's backline or create channels in behind for wingers or inside forwards to run into. At the same time, the finishing zones were lacking presence. Mostly, one of the inside forwards would make a run into the box, often Szoboszlai playing that central striker role. In the second half, Wirtz was subbed off and Jeremie Frimpong came on, and Arne Slot used him in a very unusual way. In this match, Jeremie Frimpong played as a right winger instead of Salah, and that was quite interesting. He played as a right winger, pressed high, and essentially did everything Salah usually does. It was fascinating to see him in that role. Maybe he's being prepared as a potential replacement for Salah, although it still looks quite odd. From a tactical perspective, we could see Liverpool's back four line, with Frimpong holding a high and wide position on the right. He actually provided more work rate than even Salah, in my opinion. First, it's his pace, and second, his explosive dribbling. That combination was impressive. You could see him receiving a diagonal pass, pushing the ball forward with his first touch into space, entering the box and firing a shot. It looked fantastic. It'll definitely be interesting to see as we get closer to the start of the season, whether Frimpong will actually be Salah's replacement on the wing or whether he'll return to playing as a right back. What I noticed is that both Salah and Frimpong played from wide positions. Salah in the first half, Frimpong in the second. But the key distinction for me is that Frimpong is naturally a wide player, while Salah can also operate effectively in the half space. That's because Salah has better dribbling in tight areas, better close control, quick touches, those sharp left-footed cuts inside the box, switching the ball quickly from foot to foot. That's what makes Salah so special. So if we consider both Salah and Frimpong as starters, I would actually lean toward Frimpong being used as a right back. And in that case, Liverpool would have a heavily attack-minded setup on that flank. Unlike Trent Alexander-Arnold, Frimpong won't invert into midfield. He'll stay wide, stick to the touchline, use his pace and dribbling to enter the box and deliver crosses or final passes from there. That's how I see it. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. And now let's move on and talk about the tactical problem, or rather the tactical issues Liverpool showed in this match. If we also speak about the goal that Liverpool conceded, first of all, both defenders were poor in that situation. In a 2 versus 2 on the flank, they allowed Milan players to turn and run into space at full speed. I'm also very interested in this player I've highlighted here. If you take a look, a Liverpool and Milan player are both about equal distance from their own goal when they start the sprint. Wirtz should already be shifting centrally because he had no opponent on the outside at that moment. Remember this positioning of the players from both teams. Now look, Leão reaches Liverpool's penalty area and there's a 10-meter gap between him and the Liverpool player. They started from the same position. How is that even possible? I can't explain it other than a complete loss of concentration and lack of effort to recover, which is unacceptable for a Liverpool-level player, even in a friendly match. That's how Milan scored their second goal. From a tactical perspective, we could see Liverpool's back four line, with Frimpong holding a high and wide position on the right. Meanwhile, the left winger, Wirtz, also pushed high. Liverpool's defensive line played very proactively, staying mobile and ready to step forward when needed. But in such a high line, you must anticipate and always play on the front foot. Any mistake gets punished. Here we see Conceded trying to play proactively, but a Milan player plays a first-touch pass to a teammate who receives the ball facing goal. In this case, the right back should shift across and cover the space behind the defensive line. And since Liverpool's central block was very narrow, and at least one wide player always pushed high, the flanks became extremely vulnerable. Milan used these wide channels again and again on the counter. Defensively, I didn't like the positioning of Liverpool's players. Liverpool leaves 3 players in the back, 2 center backs and 1 holding midfielder who drops between them. So all Liverpool players stand between the lines of Milan's block. Any misplaced pass, poor touch, or interception immediately becomes a direct counterattack toward Liverpool's goal. Very easy to organize. So the team had to break 2 of Milan's defensive lines, the first pressing line and the midfield block, with a single risky pass. And that's very difficult to pull off. Any mistake would result in a 3 versus 3 counterattack minimum. Why? Because there was no proper holding midfielder positioned between Milan's forward and midfield lines. That player was missing. It was a very risky tactical approach from Liverpool. Here's another example on this screenshot. You can see that there's no pivot available to link up play. Without that player, you're forced to immediately play risky vertical passes that must split two lines at once. Now let's look at how Milan transitioned from defense to attack. Liverpool pressed extremely aggressively. We can see how high the Liverpool center back pushed. In the end, the ball went wide. Kirkes didn't keep up with his marker, and Liverpool's center back didn't get back in time. Milan launched a 3 versus 2 counterattack. As for Liverpool's goal, it was a fairly standard combination. Gakpo made a great run to attack the far post, and Konate delivered a fantastic ball. Perfect pace, perfect placement. Gakpo easily finished it off. Let us know in the comments, do you think Wirtz and Frimpong's positions will change this season? Where do you see Frimpong and Wirtz playing under Arne Slot in the upcoming campaign? Share your thoughts on the match and tell us what kind of tactics you expect from Liverpool this season. And of course, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth football analysis and tactical content.